This is Ashley Canetti from the Almost Famous podcast. Can you believe all this talk about GLP-1s? Of course you can. It's all people talk about. Have you heard about Future Health, though? They make access to qualified doctors that know GLP-1s easier than ever. People can struggle with weight loss for years, trying various diets and exercises without lasting success. With GLP-1s, many people notice a reduction in cravings and felt more in control of their eating habits, which lead to weight loss, physical health, and feeling more optimistic about their future. They give millions of people affordable access to knowledgeable providers who really know weight loss medications for less than $3 a day. Find out if weight loss meds are right for you in 3 minutes at tryfh.com. That is tryfh.com. Again, tryfh.com.
Tryfh.com.
Future Health is not a healthcare services provider. Meds are prescribed at provider's discretion. Results may vary. Sponsored by Future Health.
Hey, it is Ryan Seacrest. There's something so thrilling about playing Chumba Casino. Maybe it's the simple reminder that with a little luck, anything is possible. ChumbaCasino.com has hundreds of social casino-style games to choose from with new game releases each week. Play for free anytime, anywhere for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Gaming Corner podcast. I'm your host, Josiah.
And I'm Jonathan.
And today we have two very amazing special guests here. We got Dylonic and DKMatt. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Doing fantastic. I'm glad you introduced us as amazing, because that's what we are.
Oh yeah, you guys are amazing. I've totally seen every single one of your videos. I totally know who you guys are. I totally didn't try to figure out who you guys are 15 minutes before this episode. That would be crazy. I don't know. Don't know why anybody would think that. No.
Yeah. I'd fall to my knees in agony right where I stand.
Yeah.
Or sit, I guess, in this case. But
that would just be awful. But yeah.
I'd cry.
So let's start out with Dylonic. So what do you actually do online? What are your videos like?
My videos, I pretty much do exclusively Nintendo content. I love talking Nintendo. It's been just basically a dream of mine ever since I was a kid to talk about Nintendo. Right now, I got some very big plans in the works for next year. I'm going to be going, I'll just talk about it now, I guess. I'm talking about every single Mario game throughout the year for his 40th anniversary.
That'll be cool.
And pretty much that'll be taken up. I got like 12 videos planned out, one a month. And that's pretty much going to be what my 2025 is going to look like. Nothing but Mario, Nintendo.
There we go. That's going to be awesome.
What else could you ask for?
Pikmin. No.
Pikmin 5.
There we go. All right.
I just make Nintendo content. Maybe sometime in the future, some other videos on other games, because I don't just play Nintendo, but right now I'm just mainly focused on Nintendo because that's like my main sweet spot. I have a super consistent upload schedule. I upload all the time, and I have some plans for 2025, and I hope I get to do them.
Nice.
But we'll see though.
Well, I'm very excited to see it all play out.
Yeah.
And
Matt, super consistent.
Yeah.
So consistent.
Every other week, right, Matt?
Yeah, every other week.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of Matt, what do you do for videos?
What was that?
What do you do for videos?
I basically make video essays about various Nintendo games and reviews and just general discussion topics. Like my most recent video was basically defending Tears of the Kingdom as a game, because I see that game get a lot of hate. So a lot of it is just like argumentative essays or just reviews in general.
Nice.
Oh,
It's very, very nice. John, I forget, what do we do?
We did the Gaming Corner podcast.
That's right, man. That's crazy, man. Yeah, we do a podcast because we're. Yeah, actually, speaking of which, we have segments in this podcast. So how about we move right on over to the news and announcements?
To absolutely no one's surprise, Paramount Pictures' Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has taken the box office this holiday season. The film released the same day as Disney Mufasa and was expected to combat head-to-head, but looking at the charts, it tells a different story. Opening weekend alone, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 made well over $62 million compared to Mufasa's $35. Not to say one movie is better than the other, but, you know.
Yeah.
I am.
Whoa.
I mean, to be fair,
Oh.
I haven't seen Mufasa, but
Neither
I
have
don't
I.
wanna-
I'll be seeing it
is
this
the
Monday,
Disney
so I'll be able to
movie.
make the decision there. But I really doubt it's gonna be better.
yeah, I mean, it is like a modern day Disney live action movie. It's probably 3 stars at most.
Yeah, like 3 out of what 10? No. But yeah, I feel like
3 out of
Disney
5?
compared to I feel like Disney adults compared to just your average Sonic fan, that is a whole different variety of people. And those
Yeah.
families can enjoy Disney. Disney is, I feel like, slowly going out of the limelight. It's slowly dying off from everybody's like day-to-day like routine. And as somebody who has seen everything compared to video games and especially Sonic the Hedgehog, I feel like there's no, what am I trying to say? There's a reason that this movie is doing much better than Mufasa. 1, it's a great movie. 2, Keanu Reeves. You can't go wrong.
I also feel like with The Lion King, a lot of people going to watch that movie are just like parents who grew up with Lion King. They're like trying to force it to their kids. I don't think
Exactly.
kids actually want to see Lion King. I think kids want to see Sonic and Shadow like battle it out. I
Yeah.
think that's the main
They
thing.
need to see it. The children yearn for Sonic.
Yeah. See, this guy
Kids
gets
don't
it.
want lions. They want hedgehogs
want
and Dragon Ball
hedgehogs.
Z. They want battles and Kamehamehas. You know, cool stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome Sonic action.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, it is Ryan Seacrest. There's something so thrilling about playing Chumba Casino. Maybe it's the simple reminder that with a little luck, anything is possible. ChumbaCasino.com has hundreds of social casino-style games to choose from with new game releases each week. Play for free anytime, anywhere for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I feel like Sonic brings a lot to the table that The Lion King just can't, because Sonic is it's such a diverse franchise, and we'll talk about this later. It's such a diverse franchise, for lack of a better term. It goes into all these different areas. The Lion King is a story that's been told for years and years, and it's the exact same thing. You can only do so much with a dead lion.
Yeah.
So
Is it-
that's
The Lion King is just that one story while Sonic can tell. As we've seen from his game catalog, he can tell just a ton of stories.
Oh, tell me about it.
Also, while Sonic is like a kid's franchise, it has a bit more of an edge to it, so you can get away with a lot more crazier stuff. And I think naturally kids want the more edgier option.
Exactly.
They want to feel more grown up.
They want to be able to wear those leather jackets. They want to be able to wear that eyeshadow, say "Mom," haha.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, I feel like Sonic the Hedgehog 3. There's a reason it did better. And actually, I just saw today on Twitter. I'm calling it Twitter. I'm not calling it X. Sonic the Hedgehog
As you
3
should.
has officially passed $100 million globally in the box office. So that was pretty sweet.
Forgot it released other places other than just America. Because I know the release date for the movie has been pretty varied across. Because some territories still haven't gotten the movie. Some are
That's the
getting it
biggest
in like
thing.
January.
That's really sad that America gets it, but like all the other countries that don't have oil get it other places.
Pretty much.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Unfortunately, yeah.
proud of that joke. I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that one.
That was pretty fun. That was pretty funny.
It was
I
fun.
like that one actually.
But yeah, so that's Sonic the Hedgehog 3. What else is there to talk about? Oh right, the Switch 2. Oh boy, is there a lot to talk about. We've been getting closer and closer to the release date of the Switch 2. And funnily enough, we will be calling it the Switch 2 apparently. There have been a lot of leakers all over Twitter. Once again, calling it Twitter, not X. There've been a lot of leakers all over the internet, especially Twitter. There's a leaker called Next Handheld, I believe he is. Let me pull this up really quick on my phone. You know, my little supercomputer in my pocket. His name is Next Handheld. He's on Twitter. He's been doing so many random leaks. He leaked the dock. He leaked the actual name of the Switch. And apparently, from what I've been seeing, do you guys know who the leaker Pioro is?
Oh,
Yeah.
who doesn't?
Oh, dude. Apparently, from what I can understand, Pioro has been confirming what this guy is saying. He's saying 70% of it is real, 20% of it is what he's saying is unconfirmed, and 10% of his info goes against what he's saying. But for the most part, what he's saying is really happening. So this is all very interesting to see this all play out. There's a bunch of other people that are saying, oh, the Switch is going to be released on this day, that day, it's going to be announced this then. From what we can tell from multiple other leakers, I think his name is Central Leaks, also on Twitter, he's also leaking a bunch of stuff for the Switch 2. And apparently, the name is literally just the Nintendo Switch 2. And he started a countdown for January 8th. So by January 8th, I at least believe that is when we're going to see this system get announced. And I feel like that would also line up with how Nintendo did the original Nintendo Switch. Because that was announced back in January, right? Of 2017?
No, that was their press conference that they had. That was the
Yeah.
proper reveal, but we had the actual announcement in October, I believe.
Oh, that was the trailer. Yeah. Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Odyssey.
Yep, that one. Yeah, well, either way, they formally announced it then. I feel like they could totally have a trailer, do a press conference, and then release it by March. They said that they would announce it within this fiscal year, which means it could be all the way up until March 31st. Because those are like the quarters, those are your fiscal years. So we could see it up until any of those points. And there's just a whole lot to talk about the Switch 2, but we only have so much time on this podcast, so I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on the matter.
I feel like it could be announced by the 8th, but I hate it when leakers drop a date because they're almost always wrong.
Yeah.
So because things always change internally. So when they say January 8th, for example, their leaks might be true, but the date might have changed. So once January 8th comes around and nothing gets announced, and all the Nintendo fans are like, why'd you trust leakers? You trust them again. They don't tell the truth.
Exactly.
But it's like, I wish they would stop dropping dates and just speak information because it's just not helpful at all. So
exactly.
I hope it comes on the 8th, but to be honest, it could come anytime.
Yeah.
I'm a little afraid, though, of the name. It kind of reminds me of the Wii U situation. Where,
that's
Switch
a big
2,
thing.
if the Switch 2 has got backwards compatibility, meaning it can play all these Switch games and at a higher frame rate and all this, it sounds like a Switch Pro, honestly. And
Yeah.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. Everybody needs some variety in life. That's what I love about Chumba Casino. They know how to keep things fresh and exciting. All their games are free to play, like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire. You can claim free daily login bonuses, too. And they release new games every week. So spice things up with ChumbaCasino.com now for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody. Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
maybe I feel like the 2 implies that it's like more than a pro, but I feel like a lot of people are probably going to pass on the Switch 2 for like the first 2 years because they're going to see it as just an enhancement to their games rather than an actual new console. Almost like a PS5 and Series X, where those consoles, they did sell well, but like nobody really saw them as new consoles until like 3 years in. Maybe you still don't, because it's just playing PS4 games that enhanced. You know, you can still play Ragnarok on PS4, but it's I don't know about that. I feel like it's gonna sell well no matter what, but there is a little bit of factors working against it.
Exactly. I feel like Nintendo is really going to have to prove themselves for this. I feel like they were able to learn from their mistakes with the Wii U. I would at least think that they would have learned from their mistakes with the Wii U. To be able to market the system correctly is not just an enhancement, but the sequel, the next big leap in Nintendo's history. I feel like the biggest problem with the system is every Nintendo system has always been a big leap in both hardware, software from the previous system. What we're seeing here is literally just an enhanced Nintendo Switch. There is not really much else that can be done with the Switch. I feel like, and even with Nintendo's past track record, the NES was successful. It was the N64 that was successful, the N64 that was successful, GameCube that flopped. Wii was successful, Wii U flopped. The Nintendo Switch was successful. From their track record, the Switch 2 is most likely going to fail. That doesn't mean I want it to. That's just history repeating itself. And I'm very scared, and I feel like Nintendo can play their cards right where that doesn't happen. But given Nintendo's history, it's probably going to end up like that. And it scares me and it angers me, really.
I think it's different because back then a lot of people bought consoles based on commercials and word of mouth. Now we have the internet, so this is like the new big thing. And I also feel like the Switch 2 just cannot fail. Like, it literally cannot, because and I think it will sell like over 100 million units, like genuinely
easily.
in its lifetime, because the Switch doesn't need to improve. It doesn't need to change because Nintendo has hit their peak because they managed to mix handheld and an actual console into one. And if the leaks are true and we can run like third-party games on it, then they've really won, like, honestly, because like all the kids who want to play Pokemon games and want to play handheld games, they're gonna get this Switch. And we all know the DSs have always sold so much more than the consoles, so you're getting people who would buy DSs and Nintendo home consoles buying this console. So I think naturally, like, it is impossible for it to fail. And also, we're like, in the internet, we have like a hype culture of like, get this new thing, grab it now, and it's I don't see it failing. Like I think the Switch 2 will be fine, but it is I wouldn't be surprised if it stagnated near the beginning. Like I feel like the first few months sales will be high, but I could see it stagnating for a while until they get a lot of new games on the system.
Honestly, same. I feel like the first year or two is just going to be really rough for the Switch 2. Like you said, Nintendo's going to have to prove themselves for this. And I feel like this could go in the way that the DS and the 3DS did. The DS was a revolution. The 3DS was, we see it as a brand new console, a different console. But for the vast majority of people, it's just an enhancement of the DS. We know it's not. But the vast majority of people see it as just that, and I hope Nintendo doesn't market it like that.
Yeah.
So just like they did with the Wii U. Oh, you can play on the new controller. They barely showed the Wii U itself, like the actual console. They marketed everything around the controller and made it feel like it was just another $80 thing that you could buy for your Wii, and it would make things look better. Marketing is really everything, especially for Nintendo.
We gotta show Red Dead Redemption 2 running on the Switch too.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be the system seller.
Because once people see like a big third-party game running on that tiny thing, like I think there will be people being like, "Whoa,
Yeah."
Wait a minute.
oh,
This might be
can
peak.
run things." Wait, hold on. It's not just a crappy like.
It's not just
Kid
it's not a
console?
Kindle.
I think that'll be the big game changer when it comes to the Switch 2 is because a lot of the big criticisms with a lot of people is that, oh, the Switch can hardly run anything besides its own first party. Because even the first party titles still kind of look like garbage at times if they really don't know how to properly utilize the hardware.
Exactly.
Either so much is going on at once or the game is just poorly optimized. Things like The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, a very recent example. It looks good, but it runs terribly
Yeah.
because of poor optimization. And I feel like if they just got a more powerful Switch, we not only would we get better looking third party games like what Matt said, Red Dead Redemption 2, that'll be like an absolute triumph because it's still one of the best looking games to this day, one of the most detailed, wonderful games. And judging by what the leaks are saying that it's going to be PS4 Pro, Xbox Series S level, oh my goodness. It could definitely run Red Dead 2. And I think once people see games running on this system, this new system, I think that'll get naturally just a lot more people enticed because I don't think it's going to fail. The Switch is the second highest, or no, it's still below the DS, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the herd side.
console of all time.
One of the highest selling, it's in the top three. It's top three highest selling. That's an achievement for Nintendo considering how hard they fumbled back in the Wii U days, right?
Yeah.
And I think because again, the biggest criticism is just it's heavily underpowered. So bring it up to standard with this PS4 Pro level, which a lot of people were saying isn't good enough, but like a handheld PS4 Pro runs God of War and Spider-Man and Final Fantasy VII Remake and all these wonderful looking games. And just imagine what Nintendo can do with titles on hardware that is just that powerful. So many people are going to be like, this looks amazing. I want to buy it. And I think the name isn't necessarily a big deal. I think it's a sign that Nintendo's getting less creative with their names ever since Reggie left and Iwata passed. Nintendo's become a lot more corporatized. Nintendo Directs have stopped being like more fun and stuff like that. So I feel like the Switch and the way that Nintendo is going is becoming a lot more corporate.
Mm-hmm.
And their games are still great, don't get me wrong. But the name doesn't really bother me because we have things like the PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It gets the name. It has the complete opposite of the Wii U situation where you know that this is right off the bat, just from the name, that this is a sequel to the Nintendo Switch. Not that it might be a new controller or new screen or a Switch Pro. This is the sequel to the Switch.
Exactly.
And I think that's going to get people enticed when they see like Breath of the Wild running at 4K 60 FPS.
Mm-hmm. That's a big thing. Exactly.
But we'll see. Leaks can only tell so much. And if I don't trust anyone, I trust Pyoro. and he's just kind of confirming or denying some things that are already out there, because Pyoro's got like a 100% track record, right? He hasn't really gotten anything wrong. But he's the only one that I necessarily trust, for better or for worse.
Yep.
Yeah. He made me mad with the Donkey Kong leak, though. Only to find out that was like a Mario versus Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
That was like...
Well, I guess I trust
kidding me?
Samus Hunter as well on Twitter. They've also gotten stuff right.
Yeah.
But they don't leak as much.
Yeah, but I'm very excited to see where all this goes. It's going to be very interesting.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
And Matt and I will be there to get the console day one.
Yes, sir.
And I will be there
That's a
to
lie.
cry in a corner because I have no money.
Me, I hope the leak of it coming in March isn't true, because like I think that just won't give them enough time to market it.
Yeah.
It'd be cool because it'd be around my birthday, but like
Same.
I have no money right now,
Same.
Yeah.
and so I don't really want to drop all that money on March unless I get it as a birthday present, which even then, I think if it being revealed in January, June is the most likely option, or May or whatever.
Most likely.
Which I'm honestly fine with, because that gives them around like the standard 5 months of marketing to really show off what it can do and hype it up and really phase out the Switch. Because if it comes in March, then things like Xenoblade X Definitive Edition would feel really weird on that system, because it's marketed as a Switch 1 title, but it's coming out at like the same time as the Switch 2.
Yeah.
So that would be a really bizarre release. So I think June is the most likely option, and it also gives me time to save my money.
Have you guys considered maybe it's a holiday release?
No, there's no way it's going to be a holiday. They're not going to make us... If they said they're going to reveal it in this fiscal year, judging by the time that the Switch 1 came out, or the Switch 1 got revealed, they had 5 months to show off what it can do and to advertise it and everything like that. Unless the holiday you're talking about is like Memorial Day, which yeah, go right ahead.
Switch 2 coming
But
to
that-
you this Labor Day.
That like only applies for Americans.
Hear me out.
Metroid Prime
Mario
4 on Martin Luther King Jr. Day?
That would be so awesome.
Well, what about Mario Day, March 10th?
My birthday? Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love that. That'd be perfect, actually.
Born on Mario Day?
Dude,
I
you're
was
so
no
lucky.
Mario Day was born on my day. That came much later. That was like in 2016 when
Yeah,
Mario Day became a thing. I am the Mario Day. I was thinking about making a video like that was very self-centered, be like Mario stole from me. Just make it like a
That'd
really
be so
petty
funny.
video about how Mario Day's on my birthday. I think that'd be awesome. But yeah, no, if it was on Mario Day, that'd be the perfect day, of course, for one person in particular, being me.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody. Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
That'd be
But
crazy.
it still wouldn't be enough time because I'd have no money.
Dang.
but it'd be awesome.
Let's get that ad revenue up, baby.
Exactly.
Actually, speaking of games, how about we move into the games that we've been playing and the games that we've picked up? So recently, I've been playing a few games, not too many, but I've been playing a bit of Steam. I have a computer in my room. It is literally, hang on.
Dude, I got the
It's
same
3
thing. That's
feet.
crazy.
It's 3 feet tall, and 4 feet wide. It weighs 125 pounds. So I thought, you know what? Let's use 8 terabytes of space and buy a few games. So in honor of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, I thought I'd buy Sonic Adventure 2 on Steam. It's like $5. Great game. I feel like the controls are kind of weird, but it's something I can get used to. I've been playing a bit of the Halo Master Chief Collection, mainly because I really wanted to get into Halo. Also, I don't have an Xbox right now, so I might as well use that. And I've also been playing a bit of Forza Horizons 4. A guy in our Discord, Wormy, he's been playing a bit of it, and he's like, hey, buy it. I said, okay, as I was at gunpoint. So we're playing Forza Horizons 4, and it's fun. So speaking of which, y'all can join the Discord server. It's in the description below if you're on YouTube. You can also find it in our Linktree. Linktree/Gaming Corner Podcast. Go for it. You'll find everything there. Sorry, we just had to plug that in. John, what have you been playing?
Of course.
I've been playing one game,
Oh,
and that is City Skylines.
Whoa.
I've been playing it on the computer, so I recently bought a PC, if you will. It's not a PC, it's a laptop. It's a gaming laptop.
Yeah.
But it's fun, yeah.
Nice.
Playing
that
City
sounds
Skylines. Yeah.
Sounds like your chill out arc where you're like, I don't want to play anything that takes too much brain power. I just want to talk to people. So City Skylines.
Man.
That's me
I
with, like,
have a feeling that John is a very big Animal Crossing fan. Is that true? Are you at least
yeah,
an
but,
Animal
like,
Crossing fan?
I'm an Animal Crossing fan,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely an
That
Animal Crossing
definitely
fan.
makes sense.
I
That
mean,
definitely makes
I
sense.
ranked all of the
That's true. You ranked
games
every
in the
single
series, so
Animal Crossing.
I
game.
thought you were about to say villagers, and my jaw was about to be on the floor. I'm like, you are a madman if you're ranking every
no,
single-
no.
all like 300 of them.
John, there's
Wait.
your next episode. There you go.
Ellis
Fair.
Mark ranked every Simpsons episode. We can rank every villager.
Oh, dude, that would suck. Oh my
No, but
goodness.
if we can make a 3-hour video, get 1 million views, that's like an easy, like, what, $8,000? Like, come on, let's do it, guys.
Let's hope and pray.
Collaborative effort. Let's go.
Let's go.
let's go.
All
As long
right.
as we make a bit of money off that, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
cool with it. I'm cool with it.
Absolutely, yeah. Money is
kidding.
everything. Matt, what have you been playing lately?
So, let's see. I've had a full-time, like, job in a warehouse, so it's been kind of hard to play games. But I have been playing, like, little inklings of things. I've been playing Sonic X Shadow Generations. I'm itching closer to making a review on the X Shadow portion of the game for my Sonic channel, but I keep procrastinating. Yeah. Eventually I'll get around to it.
Yeah.
I've also been playing Sparking Zero, Dragon Ball's Sparking
You
Zero.
have?
I like that game. I mean, you gotta understand, like, this is my warehouse schedule, so, like, what I played 2 weeks ago is, like, what I consider being...
Yeah, because I'm like, you haven't played the game in like a month.
Nah, but, like, I also bought the first Red Dead Redemption on PC because I haven't played it in, like, years. First time I played it was on backwards compatibility on my Xbox One, and I love the game, but it's never been released in 60 FPS, and now I feel like a slob, a dirty little slob for buying this game, because it's like, it's kind of lazy. It's just the same game, but up-resed in 60 frames per second. Well, actually, it goes up to 144, but I feel like a dirty little slob for buying this game. I'm like, man, I just participated in, like, funding this corporation that just put out slop. It was $40.
Man.
It was $40 I spent on this game. Why? I'm debating refunding it because I'm like, I'm working a warehouse. Do I even have time to play this game? I don't even know. But You know, it was nice seeing at 144 frames per second. I've never seen that game run that well before. It's like it's game changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Dylonic, what have you been up to, game-wise?
Well, other than the since I've been preparing for the aptly named Mariothon, I've been playing all of the classic Mario games right now. That I just finished, like Mario 1, 2, Lost Levels, Land, and Land 2 yesterday.
Ooh, nice.
And I'm planning on, at some point in the next 2 days, going into 3 in World for that video. But those games are like an hour long or so. The real game that I've been playing is Marvel Rivals extensively.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
We
I
have
can't
a
put this
Marvel
game down.
man in our podcast.
I'm not even a Marvel man. I just bought a ton of DC comics.
We have a hypocrite in our podcast episode. No.
Yep, that's me. I'm the hypocrite. But like, oh my goodness, man, this game is awesome. Holy crap, man.
Yeah.
You'll be very maybe surprised, maybe not surprised to find out that I'm actually playing it right now as we've been talking.
I could.
I don't doubt it. I saw it on your Discord profile. I'm like, he's got his priorities.
As did I.
It is such a good game. I've been playing it with a bunch of friends. It's even a good game to play solo, which I hardly do. I don't like playing Overwatch that much. So when I saw this game, I wasn't really keeping up with all of the news and the data. It's like it looked cool, I guess. And then it came out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta play it. I really gotta play it. And then I played it, and I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm genuinely impressed with how well this game turned out. Like, the servers are great. There are 33 playable characters at launch, with more free characters coming later on. You can buy the battle pass and like continue the battle pass even after the season is over. This game is strangely pro-consumer.
Yeah.
It's really weird to just see a game this good pop up at launch. Because, like, I was expecting, like Overwatch 2's launch, the servers were crashing. It took you 50 minutes just to get in a single game. Weird stuff like that. But this game, I press the join button and I'm instantly in a game. Hardly any wait times whatsoever. It runs great on my PC. It runs great on my Xbox. And there's so many cool characters in there that play really well. It's like Overwatch, but if it was good.
That feels like what a fighting game should be. No over-the-top story. No unnecessary gameplay mechanics. Just pop it in, play it. That is what I appreciate about retro gaming. Off topic. Pop it in and play it. That's something I hate about modern games. You have to wait so long just to get into some stupid gameplay.
Right.
You definitely are not a Sony fan.
No, I had a PS2 for a while, got rid of it.
Really? The PS2?
PS2.
I can understand that about the PS5 because I did that. But the PS2 had some really good games. PS5, though, has nothing.
It has literally 9 exclusive games. I learned that from Tom from That Guy Who Games. Shout out to Tom.
Really?
Yeah. 8 or 9. 9 exclusive games. Things that haven't been like released on Steam or on the PS4. 9 games. They haven't even hit double digits.
Pretty sure it's even lower with the PlayStation 5 because I did do like a little bit of how my most popular video is how I think Nintendo won the quote unquote console wars. And like my theories are just coming true, and it's actually just a little sad because when I was watching the Game Awards, they just casually dropped the fact that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Spider-Man 2 are coming at the same month.
Oh man.
Like the game hasn't even been out for a whole year yet, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And it's already coming to PC. And it's like, my whole point there is no point to buying a PS5 if all of their exclusive games are coming to PC within like 2 years. And now it's even shorter. It's less than a year.
Exactly.
And that like makes me kind of feel bad for PlayStation players because they just have no games, no exclusive games to play. Well, Nintendo has a whole catalog of games that you really can't find anywhere else with just really they hardly miss when it comes to their Switch catalog. Unless you're like a Mario sports title. And like Xbox is really good if you just want to buy older games, which I found out the funny way. I had no idea that I could just get a whole catalog of games for like $5.
Oh yeah.
So many games. I now have like a big Xbox game collection because so many of these games are just like $20 or less that I can't find on Switch because Switch is super underpowered.
Exactly.
I get to play all these great games for super cheap. And it is kind of the same way for PlayStation as well. But for Xbox, they kind of just accepted the fact that they don't really have exclusives. They just kind of threw in the towel. Sony's kind of still in that race, still trying to make good games. And I'm not going to lie, like the Spider-Man games, God of War,
great games.
Oh, what else? Like good, decent enough games. But at the same time, I have them all on PC. So what's the point of owning a PlayStation?
Exactly.
My personal take on this is like I think for PlayStation's sake as a company, like it's not good to have no exclusives. But me as a consumer, I don't root for any company. I think all three are suck pretty bad. I don't like Nintendo, Xbox, or PlayStation. So when I see exclusives hit PC like PlayStation, I don't really care about the success of the PlayStation. I just care about having Spider-Man 2 on my.
It can get lonely climbing Mount McKinley, so to entertain myself, I go to ChumbaCasino.com. At Chumba Casino, I can play hundreds of online casino-style games for free, like online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Plus, I get a daily login bonus. It's just too bad that up here, I don't have anyone to share my excitement with. Woohoo!
Live the Chumba life. Anytime, anywhere. Play for free now at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody. Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
PC. So at the end of the day, like, I mean, yeah, it sucks for the people who bought a PS5 expecting to like have these things exclusive, but you can still play those games on your PS5. I just personally could not care. Honestly, I wish a lot of Nintendo games were on PC because they'd probably run a lot better, like Tears of the Kingdom, you know. So I think I don't really care about the exclusive stuff because I just want the games themselves, so to speak.
Yeah.
I guess, but at that point, why isn't everything on PC? Why isn't PC the only quote-unquote console maker, you know?
Because not everyone can afford a PC and not everyone wants a PC for the sake of like just optimization, extra stuff that comes with maintaining and taking care of a PC. A PS5 and Series X and Switch are like so normie like products. Like if you're a kid, you're like, I want to play video games. I want to play the Sonic and the God of War.
I want to play Devil May Cry 3. No.
Yeah, yeah, like some elementary school kid want to play Devil May Cry. You know, just give them a PlayStation, and they just pop it in and play after they get through all of the cutscenes in God of War. Then they can play. You know, it's like, I think it's still the normie aspect of a PS5 is what will continue to sell, because you gotta think about it like this. PC has been around for so long, and I do think PC is the best platform overall because it also has emulation, but
and that gives you
the,
Nintendo and legal
exactly.
troubles. But
yeah, I don't emulate any games, Nintendo. I play all of your games on Switch.
I do.
Don't worry. I don't
someone's
emulate a single
gonna go
thing.
to prison. Oh,
I definitely do not have the Metroid Prime trilogy on Dolphin.
totally
I do
not, dude. I'm telling you.
Definitely do not.
I'm telling you. Nintendo, out of game content wise, Nintendo has the best games. I
Yeah,
would
for
probably
sure.
say outside of it, that's just in the three major systems. That's Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox. Overall, even though I'm a console guy, PC will always reign supreme in every single aspect because it's so customizable. You can do so much more with it. It's not limited to just a gaming console. For games, Xbox, Nintendo, and Sony, they've got their stuff. But PC can do so much more.
I agree, and that's been the case for a long time, and yet PC is still the least populated platform. So it's
And
like,
it baffles me that reason. It's awful.
yeah. At the
I
end
think
of
it's
the
because
day,
the casuals outweigh the hardcores like crazy. Because it's also like Linux, Windows, and Mac. Linux is by far what people consider the best, but it's the least populated because of the barrier to entry is kind of large. Because if all you do is want to play games, you're just gonna buy a console.
Yeah.
Like I have a friend who I would consider like a quote unquote gamer, Like he loves playing games, he loves doing all that stuff, but at the same time, he doesn't really follow news like that. He just has games on, He doesn't follow news or anything like that, but he just doesn't really care as long as he gets to play the games.
Exactly.
He doesn't really want to customize an entire like $900 plus rig to play the best games when he could pay like $300 for a Nintendo Switch or $500 to $700 for a PlayStation 5. So I think it's definitely the fact that the casual gamer, because in my definition, like a hardcore gamer is someone who like actively follows news, somebody who actively cares about the exclusivity of games, and just random stuff like that the regular person just really wouldn't care about.
Exactly.
yeah.
And they just outweigh those guys like crazy.
In my personal opinion, if you are a hardcore gamer, meaning you're
Gamer!
playing these games, right? I could see you owning a Switch, but if you own a PlayStation over a PC, I feel like you're failing as a hardcore gamer.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly. That's why so many hardcore gamers believe that PC is the best. And like
Yeah,
they're kind of right in that aspect because the PC like I think objectively is the best because like you said, the customizability, the fact that you can put you get what's the word I'm looking for? You get
Personalization.
what you put in to the PC. Like if you want a low end rig, you can make one. If you want a high end rig, you can make one.
Yep.
And you can play, like if you just wanted to emulate older games and whatnot, you could have like the most nothing rig out there. You can pay absolutely nothing for it, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think that's the biggest thing for PC for me is accessibility. You have Steam, which you can like forever since its inception. If you bought a game on that on Steam, you can play it today. Like I can still play Half-Life 2 at 1080p and play it just like it came out today. And I don't have to wait for a new console to release and like wait for it to be ported and remastered and given to us so that we don't have to emulate it. No, it's just always here. I can still play Fallout New Vegas to this day. I don't have to wait for it to be re-released. And even with emulation, I don't have to wait for Nintendo to like, I don't know, re-release Wind Waker HD. I can just play that on my PC. I don't have to wait for re-releases. I can just play it, and I like that.
And you can get more out of it through mods as well. Like I played Breath of the Wild at 4K on a Wii U emulator. I'm like, whoa, this needs to come out now. But also, like I said, the barrier to entry is much higher because I know the casual gamer just doesn't want to go through all those hoops just to get a Wii U or a Switch emulator. Like if it was an old game, you could just look up Super Mario 64 ROM or a Super Mario Galaxy ISO and be set for life. Like it would just first thing you pop in, you download it for a little bit and you play. It doesn't take things like Dolphin Emulator, N64, pretty much Wii previous is super easy to get into. It's super accessible. But then you have stuff like the Wii U and Switch, which are a lot sketchier. Which is it just makes it a lot harder to get into.
Keys. You gotta get keys now.
Yeah, you gotta get keys. You gotta download firmware. You gotta make sure the site you're not on isn't super duper sketchy because no matter what site you go on for a Switch ROM, it's gonna be sketchy, right? And a lot of the times those ROMs are very new. They're unstable, depending on how they, you can get Mario Wonder in 4K. You can get Tears of the Kingdom in 4K, and it looks absolutely stunning. But like,
whoa, buddy.
The amount of hoops that you have to go through to get something like that is just way too much, and that's why I don't like in my console wars video, I'd mentioned that you can't get Nintendo games anywhere else, and a lot of people in the comments are like, "Oh, well, you could just get them on PC." And it's like,
no,
how many people are really willing to do that? Like, legally, it's in a very gray area for a lot of different territories as well. It's like so many people just aren't willing to go through that just to get a Switch game that they can easily just go out and buy right now.
Switch ROMs, you say?
Yep.
Ooh.
That's a little spicy.
XCI or whatever you want to call it, I guess.
Whoa, buddy. Whoa.
It's like XCI, NSP.
Yeah, NSP.
And these are all letters that I'm totally making up on my own. I totally don't know anything about this.
I love those letters. They're my favorite letters. That's why I said them.
Yeah.
I can't wait until Dylonic gets 20k subscribers and he's like known as like this underrated gem in the Nintendo community, and then someone finds this podcast.
Like
he emulated Nintendo Switch games while
holy crap, man!
No way!
Jeez, Rick,
get this guy out of here!
Oh my god!
It's turned into like a whole Rick and Morty episode.
How dare you put the first person? Well, see, the thing is, I already have like emulated games in my video. There was one where I did like the live action. I just wanted to see if I could do it. The live action, like manly reviews style to video where I put myself in the game world. That was Breath of the Wild on a PC with the first person mod. And as good as that looked in the end, I just wanted to see if I could do it. I'm never going to do that again, but there is like, I guess, official footage out there that I have emulated Breath of the Wild.
But remember, you own the game. You dumped it. Wink,
I literally do.
wink.
I own like I own both versions of the game.
But remember, let's say it together. You dumped the game. Can you say that?
I did.
Yeah, we all dumped the game. I go through all the effort of dumping games. I definitely know how to do that.
Speak for yourself.
There we go.
I dumped my games. I just forgot to say it. That's all.
I just forgot to say.
Oh man,
I dump my games. I know how to do that because I'm smart. You know.
I did it with a Sega CD game.
Wait.
Oh, actually, legitimately, so did I.
What?
I dumped.
Wait.
Hang on. Keep talking. I'll grab it.
Wait, you dumped a? How does that? Like, you dumped a Sega CD ROM or like?
Yeah. No, I dumped a. So at the Sega and Sonic Fan Jam, I bought, there were these guys that made like a really cool sound selection game, and it was on like an actual thing that could run on the Sega CD, and I really wanted it, and I bought it, but I don't have a Sega CD, so my next best option was to dump it onto my PC and run it through a Sega CD emulator.
Yeah, it's literally just a CD. Here it is. It's Bill Walsh's College Football, because I got it for 75 cents at an Amish mill festival, because the Amish are all over the Sega CD. So, yeah. It's very, very, it's literally just like taking the files off of a CD and copying them over to your computer. It's literally that simple.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, I killed the mood. Let's move on to our GCP topic. So guys, what did y'all think about Sonic the Hedgehog 3?
It was so bad.
Oh man. And by
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody. Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
bad, we mean good. And
You need to put
good,
your
we
heart
mean
and soul
Sonic
into that
3.
one, Matt.
Oh, dude,
I
tell me
did.
about it.
I was going all out for mine, and Matt, you're getting boring with
Yeah,
yours.
no,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
because it's the truth. It was a bad movie.
Man, I can't.
You were speaking a
What?
very different tune when we watched it.
It couldn't have been a bad movie because it was Sonic 3, and also it
Like,
wasn't
dude,
the
oh, yeah, you're
1990s
right.
Mario movie, so it was
Like,
automatically.
dude, I need to make a video right now on the movie, guys. Don't interrupt me. That's literally what Matt was doing right
the
after
way,
we got home
I,
from the movie. I need to make this video now, and it still hasn't come out. It's been like 2 weeks.
It's canceled. I might upload
Oh
it
my
to Twitter
goodness.
though. I might upload to Twitter just so my viewers can see it. But
Matt on his way to never upload.
bro, dude, I feel bad for my Sonic channel, man. I got so many people waiting for me. I just can't upload to it.
Man.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I seriously am. I feel bad.
Well, I'll tell y'all what. If you want, we give you permission to upload this segment, or just promote it on your channel, so then you got a little bit of Sonic content on there for you. So there you go.
Maybe.
So I feel like we should just talk about a few key points with Sonic the Hedgehog 3. This movie was the most anticipated game. Actually, I would go as far to say this was my most anticipated movie. I would say even more anticipated than the Mario movie. Like, right in line with that. And I was hyped for the Mario movie. This, every little snippet we got me more and more excited. And it was such a good movie, dude. It was such a good freaking movie. I loved it. There's a few things that I really want to talk about, but I could ramble on for hours. So I want to hear y'all's thoughts on the movie first. Just like, we'll start with just like the basic thoughts of what we thought of this movie, and then we'll move into the key points.
Okay. I thought the movie was it was great. If I gave it a rating, it'd probably be like an 8.5, 8 out of 10, around that range. I really liked it. It's probably the best video game movie I've ever seen. Definitely. It doesn't, now I won't say it doesn't go without its flaws. It definitely does. The beginning of the movie, the pacing is a little fast, and then the middle, it kind of slows down to a crawl, and then the third, it speeds back up. The third part of the movie is just genuinely amazing. I loved every part of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed, like, especially on a rewatch, it's kind of I'm like kind of just waiting for the third part of the movie for most of it. But I really do like Shadow as a character. I think Keanu Reeves like absolutely smashes it as Shadow, and yeah, this is like the best video game movie, and I hope kids grow up with this movie thinking Sonic. So also when they buy Adventure 2 and get some culture in their veins.
There we go.
Yeah, I like the movie though. It was a pretty good movie.
Yeah. I thought it
Yes.
was a good movie.
I thought it was a good movie as well.
Sonic.
Pretty much all of Matt's thoughts are the same as mine as well. I think it has the worst pacing of any Sonic movie. I think because it's just all over the place, you know?
Yeah.
The first act, I thought the first act was really good, but the second that all of the major characters were introduced, I just got like, I almost completely checked out.
I felt like it gave me like whiplash from watching it. There was so much
Actually,
that happened.
Fun fact, in both times I watched the movie, I fell asleep at the exact same spot, and it's right before they're about to head into the gun headquarters.
Okay,
I fall
that's
asleep
honestly
at the exact
understandable.
spot.
That is
Like,
understandable.
both times in a row. Like, that has to mean something.
It means it's
Yeah.
slow. Well, there's a lot of problems with the movie. Not a lot of problems, a good amount of them. Actually, my first point was literally the pacing. The pacing in the movie was super fast, like Sonic, and then it came to a crashing halt right around the middle. But then again, I would rather a fast-paced movie than a very slow movie like Sonic 2. I feel like Sonic 2 was a slow movie. That, out of all of them, was a super slow movie. Not to say good things didn't come out of it, but it just felt like only the beginning and the ending were memorable. The only things I can really think of the movie were Sonic meeting Knuckles like in the yard where like they smashed through the wall, and then I remember like the temple stuff at the end. Those are the only two things I remember from that movie off the top of my head.
Yeah. I think like I said, if I honestly, because I watched it twice with Matt, and on the second, like I watched the first time with my Sonic brain, and as I was watching it, I didn't really care about all the flaws because I was just like, this is so cool, the experience is amazing, I can't believe I'm watching this with everyone, you know?
Yeah.
And then the second time I went in with my critical brain, and I'm like, oh, this ain't as good as I thought it was.
Yeah.
I have no problems with the third act whatsoever. I think
Oh,
that is a
dude.
10 out of 10 masterpiece.
It was amazing. Everything that I
But-
saw
It was
on
amazing.
Twitter was just the last 30 minutes is peak cinema.
Exactly.
I wouldn't go as far to say it's Interstellar lengths of cinema, but a few people online were saying that. So
Yeah, I don't think it goes that far. Like,
I mean, it literally does go into space. But
has anyone
That's just
seen
me.
the ending of Shawshank Redemption? Like, that's
dude, I
the peak.
went to where Shawshank was filmed. It was crazy.
Oh, dude, I'm about to go there soon. I live in Ohio, so it's like almost
Oh,
like
dude,
an
same.
Ohio
We're
win.
all from Ohio.
Yo, let's
No, we're
go.
not. Speak
Except
for yourself for a third
Except
time.
for Dylan. He lives in. I'm not gonna dox you, but
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
Ohio.
He lives in
Ohio,
East
bro.
Scott.
Ohio
Oh my
too.
gosh.
Yeah, he lives in Ohio part 2.
You know,
Ohio,
I had a
but-
feeling you lived in Ohio. Like you had that, like the white boy
I-
Ohioan like.
I did
Thanks,
feel
man.
that you guys were very
could feel
close
it.
to somewhere Midwestern.
Yeah.
Yes, I could feel
Yeah.
the Ohioan aura radiating from you.
Yeah. Not to get off topic, but when we went to Shawshank, I was with my boss and his son because like I worked at just a summer camp, and we were all there with just a few people from the camp, and you know the scene where Brooke hangs himself.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
well, where he inscribes his name, Brooks was here. My boss's son looked up and said, he's like, I don't know how old he is. He's like below 10. He said, "Daddy, look, Brooks was here." And I said, "He sure was, son."
Oh.
So that was
Thanks.
he's never seen the movie. But that was just like so like, oh man, when did we tell him? It was
that
fun.
movie's amazing.
It's a great movie.
So
I was one day away from meeting Morgan Freeman. They were doing like the 30th anniversary thing there, and I came a day late. Or a day early. It
Damn.
was so stupid.
yeah, that's probably the canon event of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, that was so sad. But actually, back onto the topic of Sonic 3. Another great movie, just like Shawshank. Let's talk about Keanu Reeves for a second. Okay, I've seen a lot of good things about him, but also a lot of negative things about him. I felt, this is just personally, Keanu Reeves' performance as Shadow felt less like a performance, but more of just like him speaking into a microphone. It felt like he didn't ever give enough emotion into the scenes. But then again, that's also just Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is automatically somebody that doesn't give off very much emotion. And I understand that. But for a character that is like so dark and not grimy, but you get what I mean. Just a dark character. I feel like he could have played into that a bit more. It felt more just like he was.
I think I can add a little bit. From my Sonic fan brain, as someone who's like analyzed the series, there's like 2 different versions of Shadow, and there's like one from the beginning of the series and one later on. Later on, when he gets like the Jason Griffith voice actor, he's like super edgy and cool. But from the beginning in Sonic Adventure 2 and Heroes and even pieces of Shadow the Hedgehog, like Shadow is not so much like an edgy like anti-hero, but more so like a bothered introvert. And that's why I like Keanu Reeves, is because he was quiet, and Shadow is, I don't see him as a type of being aggressive. He's not an aggressive character. He's more so just introverted and bothered. And it's like, I got that impression from Keanu Reeves because honestly, Keanu Reeves is kind of introverted, and I like that personality. I think translated pretty well into Shadow. Yeah, that's why I kind of messed with Keanu Reeves. At Shadow, but I see why people are a little like a little iffy on it, because there's some voice actors that sound the same in every single product.
And I feel like that's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that is Keanu Reeves. It's, he has a gimmick and he plays it. He's like Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad. Like he's always the
that's the character's name.
Villain.
It's the actual character. That's just him. He just played himself.
Yeah, because everywhere he goes, he's just the mystique evil guy.
Yeah.
Like that's all he is.
He's very typecast.
Keanu's just like the like super cool introverted character everywhere he goes. So.
I think that's something all the Sonic games, including Shadow Generations, have just like, this is the most Shadow has felt in ever, even more so than Sonic Adventure 2, because the storytelling has become a lot more advanced, obviously. But like, I really felt for Shadow, and I feel like this is like the most Shadow that he's ever been, right?
Yeah.
Even in Sonic X Shadow Generations, they still kind of just get that character wrong, in that he's still very aggressive.
Yeah.
Like he's just very, it's definitely the step in the right direction for Shadow. He's a lot more caring, especially towards Maria in that game. But like he's mad. He's just kind of there hanging out. But then this Shadow's just very much a tortured soul who's just like, something I noticed in the game, or not the game, the movie. Or do we need to put a spoiler word? Are we good to talk spoilers?
Oh, no, dude, this entire episode is just spoilers. I probably should.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this: everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Should have said that at the beginning, but this entire episode is spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, don't listen to this episode.
Robotnik dies.
Dang it!
Yeah, that's why I was a little hesitant on saying anything, but like, Shadow's just, he doesn't kill anybody throughout the movie. Heck, he hardly even does anything to Sonic when they first meet. He's just like, can you guys leave me alone?
He almost killed Tom. He was close. And it felt like he was going to.
Yeah, okay, well, there's two things to add to this. Number one, his plan was to destroy planet Earth.
Yeah.
That's because he was manipulated by Gerald.
Yeah.
He was manipulated to kill a planet of people.
Yeah.
He still didn't kill anyone because you could see his true intentions by the way he acted throughout the movie. Because he didn't kill any of the gun soldiers. He just kind of like gave, like I said in he said in the movie. The opening? No, he just took those guys out, I think. That's kind of left up in the air. That I can give you that.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
That's what I was gonna bring up was the beginning.
It's not implied. It might be implied that he killed them, but
the cars were burning, and I'm assuming people were in those cars.
Oh yeah, and the city
like
when
those
he
people are
explodes
dead.
yeah, I think somebody died. So we can at least confirm one person was dead throughout the entire movie. Well, no, there was that guy that hit the window and sloshed down, where you see his blood and the glass crack in the beginning. Yeah, at least he killed one person. So
yeah,
at least
most of it
person.
though was the manipulation of Gerald. Like I don't think Shadow was pissed, sure, but he just didn't really want to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
What he did was Sonic. He just kind of handcuffed him and left him.
Yeah.
He didn't even really necessarily want to destroy everyone. He even when they launched the arc, he started to doubt himself. He was like, "Is this really what she wanted?" Exactly. And then Gerald was like, yeah, she totally wanted everyone to die, dude. Let's go kill everybody and then ourselves." And then Shadow's like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it."
Let's do an occult.
I think it was.
Let's do an occult.
Yeah.
You framed that as a Family Guy gag.
And I think it was like just very clear that Shadow didn't want everyone to go out. He loved Maria like a sibling. Shadow does not fall for Maria, Colbert. No, he doesn't. But, you know, he's just a very kind guy, but the way that people painted him and
don't gaff.
Yeah. He just by the way that people framed him, the scientists feared him. He just Maria was really the only person that treated him fairly and like a person, you know. Yeah, and wanted him to just be him for him, but of course, you know, he crashed down in an alien pod. The government feared him, of course, as they naturally do in those types of movies, and he's like, "Maybe I am a monster." But then Maria's like, "You're not a monster." And then she dies, and then no one is able to tell him that he's not a monster anymore.
Yeah.
So now he's kind of screwed in that department. He has no support system anymore to tell him that it's going to be all right. Instead, he has a grandpa that's just like, "Yeah, let's go kill everyone for funsies," you know?
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, that sounds like a wonderful idea, actually, because I'm mad." Gerald is using that anger to his own advantage to get his own very personal and petty revenge.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? It's up in the air if Shadow killed anybody, but I know that he didn't want to.
Yeah.
It was through the manipulation that he ended up doing the horrible things that he did. I think his sacrifice kind of made up for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like Vegeta. You know?
We're not starting this conversation. No, that was a different conversation.
Yeah,
but
we want this episode to be short. I have to edit all this. No. Really quick, I do want to talk about one last thing before we get into the Dr. Robotnik stuff. I personally think taking Shadow out of the picture was, I feel like that was the smartest thing to do. Because with both Shadow and Sonic, both with the Chaos Emeralds, like with the Master Emerald, they're essentially unstoppable. And any villain after that, if Shadow would have stayed, would have become irrelevant and would have been stopped within the first half hour of the movie. Like for like a sequel, for like Sonic 4.
It's interesting that you said that.
Did you sit through the post-credit scenes?
That's actually, we're going to talk about that last. Because that's going to be very interesting.
Have you seen both?
Did you?
Credit scenes?
Yeah.
You saw both of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Shadow's still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's probably getting his own spin-off.
Hold up. There were 2 post-credit scenes. I left that theater. What?
Yeah.
The last post-credit scene was Shadow confirming that he was alive.
Yeah, he picked up his inhibitor ring and he like.
Yeah, and then it went.
You're being serious?
Well,
Are you?
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
I paid $20.
This is the exact
I paid
this is
$20
the
to
exact
get into a theater to
conversation I
miss
had.
the one thing I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Oh my god. He was like, man, I'm so glad they killed Shadow. That was the right decision.
I had this exact conversation with my friend too, because he left in the middle of the post-credit scene. He's like, dude, that was kind of like a bold move to keep Shadow killed off. I'm like, well, he kind of.
So now you're saying I have to go back to the theater to watch? I'm not against it. Now I can watch the movie again.
The after credit scene, once you see it, is gonna be like very underwhelming because it's like like the way they show that Shadow's still alive is like a 3-second clip of him picking up a ring. Like
So it's like a Michael Bay.
But it was still cool because it played Live and Learn.
So it's a Michael Bay.
I came back for this. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Except the movie was good.
Okay.
The movie was very good.
It was.
That's the big separation between Sonic 3 and Michael Bay films.
Yeah. Actually, really quick, can we talk about Jim Carrey's performance?
I liked it.
Goodness, I loved it.
Holy crap. Both performing as
actually
Dr.
really good.
Robotnik and Gerald. Holy crap, that guy went all out, and with him supposedly retiring after Sonic 2 just to come out for this movie, that was crazy, dude. I mean, like, I understand why he said he quote-unquote retired. Okay, quick theory, could be absolutely wrong. I feel like Jim Carrey went into retirement for this movie just to make his grand return seem even better. That's just a personal idea that I had.
I don't know because I didn't see many people talk about his retirement after Sonic 2, so I feel like only Sonic fans cared about his retirement.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That was at least
like,
my thought.
No more Robotnik. Why?
Well, now there's no more Robotnik. But yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, that was
honestly,
just
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with him being gone.
Before the movie released, I predicted this multiple times with Dylonic that Robotnik was gonna sacrifice himself at the end of this movie. Like specifically that. Like I had a feeling this was gonna happen because I knew.
And that's
Jim
something
Carrey
I
wasn't
also
gonna
want to
come back
talk
for a
about.
fourth. So I knew that was gonna come.
I feel like his final send off to Agent Stone was so like heartwarming. It like finally felt like things came like full circle. From Agent Stone being like a punching bag to like the only one Robotnik could trust to them being the last person he talked to before sacrificing himself for the whole world. It was so heartwarming, and I feel like that just made Agent Stone feel like less like comic relief and made him feel like an actual character. I felt myself shedding a tear in that scene in the theaters, and it was so cool. It felt crazy.
Can I be honest? It felt a little weird because I was halfway expecting Robotnik to be like, "I love you," because all the Sonic fans are like have been shipping them for years, and we know Paramount is aware of this because they joke
Especially
about it.
Agent Stone's actor as well.
Yeah, even the actor is aware of this. So I was halfway expecting him to be like, "I love you," and that's like the end.
Yeah, but I think the steamed Austrian goat milk joke that was a good callback.
Yeah, it was
a very good callback.
That was a great callback. To the first
I was really concerned with how they would handle Robotnik in this movie because like Robotnik in the Sonic series is definitely a very different Robotnik than he is in the games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised that they humanized him, but I was like, before I saw anything of the movie, I'm like, how are they going to humanize him? Because we know in Sonic Adventure, this film is very heavily based off of Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah.
and they humanize Robotnik or Eggman or whatever. They humanize him in Adventure 2 by having him team up with those guys and being like, "Oh, Gerald was my hero," and stuff like that. So I was very interested to see how they would do that, because Robotnik in the previous two movies was just kind of like an irredeemable jerk. He just kind of like was keeping it family friendly. He was a jerk. That's the best way that I can put that. He just kind of he was out for blood. He wanted Sonic dead and all that junk. And then I'm like, how are they just going to make him a dude, you know?
Yeah.
I find it very hard pressed that they're just going to like, yeah, he was actually like a really chill guy all along.
Yeah.
But the way that they did it in this movie, and it wasn't like a sporadic one, you know, like, oh, I'm about to die, and now I realize the meaning of life or whatever. This Agent Stone and Robotnik's relationship thing was built up throughout, you know, ignoring the rest of the series. It was just built up from the beginning of the movie, being like, yeah, Robotnik and Agent Stone are like friends, but they're not actually. And then Gerald's like, nobody cares about you down there, so let's just kill everyone. And then Robotnik's like, wait a minute, that's factually incorrect.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I thought that was a really heartwarming way, because, you know, in Sonic movie 1, there was extensive talk of, it's like, I was an orphan, Tom, and no one cared for me my entire life. And so
Neither of my parents came to my birth. Like the whole Dr.
Yeah,
Doofenshmirtz birth.
Yeah, literally that. And so, you know, seeing Stone being the one person that really genuinely did care for Robotnik throughout the entirety of the trilogy, it was a perfect payoff to Robotnik's character, because like, how else would you end him in other than like in a humanizing way? That's like the one way that you can do that, and they just did that perfectly, because it does feel like a natural evolution of his character. It was
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody. Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
And it wasn't pulled out of nowhere. There was like a ton of context clues throughout every movie that they do care for each other, and you get and like, even though Eggman would never say it, you know, whenever Eggman touched the Master Emerald, and Stone was like, "Doctor, take me with you," without a second thought, he brought him up there with him.
Yeah.
You know, whether Eggman admitted it or not, he also did care for Stone. Maybe not in the way that Stone cared for Eggman, but they definitely did. Yeah, they were best buddies.
Yeah.
They were great. And so for him being like, "You were never a sycophant, you were a sicker friend," I'm like, that's perfect. I love that. It was such a good way to end his character. Like, it was just perfect. The entire third act was perfect.
Exactly. And really quick, I know that we don't swear on the podcast, and I'm not about to. I find it interesting, and I'm not saying I wanted to swear, that Shadow didn't swear at all, but instead the swearing went over to Robotnik. That confused me, like, for multitude of different reasons. It was interesting.
I'm surprised that we're coming back to an era where the PG rating is really getting pushed.
Yeah.
Because ever since Sonic started like swearing, of course you can't say it, but ever since the Sonic movies started swearing, I've noticed that a lot more movies are getting a lot much more comfortable with pushing the PG rating.
Yeah.
Getting almost PG-13, like Puss in Boots, that had little droplets of blood. I don't think they swore in that movie, but in Spider-Verse, there was blood and there was swearing as well. And I'm just kind of like, whoa, I forgot PG movies could do this.
Yeah.
And I think the studios forgot as well. And so when you see them get away with that stuff, you know, it's obviously not pushing PG-13. It's not like a very teenager to adult range of thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's when you see that, it's also in a way that the studios are very much like respecting the ages of the audience, because PG movies are basically for everybody, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what that means, almost. Parental guidance needed or whatever. But it does feel like that they are respecting the ages of the audience and the intelligence of the audience as well. They're not talking down to you.
Exactly.
And that I do like that about the Sonic movies.
Yeah.
Is that they don't talk down to its kid audience. They as fast paced as the movie was,
They show the reality of it.
yeah, they went in. They went in farther than I thought they would in this movie.
I feel
So
like,
I'm proud of
I
them
feel
for
like
that.
that's just like a Sonic thing. Is like Sonic has always been for kids, but it's always had like a undertone of edge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's always had that level of matureness, I guess you could say. Well, mature enough for a blue hedgehog.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah.
Because it could go back in the route of the Pontac and Graff Saturday morning cartoons type stuff.
Yeah.
But they do realize that like a lot of this fan base is a lot older. They're a lot of them are adults, and they don't want to be talked down to, and they realize why people love Sonic outside of the gameplay is that the characters and the world they inhabit is so beloved. It feels like they really do truly understand that, which is so just unheard of for video game movies. And I'm glad that like it really kicked off the precedent that the audience likes it when we actually adapt the game. You know,
They want us to base it off of things that they actually like? Really?
Oh my goodness, it's never been done before.
Whoa. It's crazy. There's a lot of things that I feel like, as even with the first Sonic movie, hearing the complaints the fans had with the original design, that told us when they redesigned Sonic, Paramount listens to fans. And that was such a heartfelt thing, thinking that a big conglomerate company can care about its consumers and want to make this product the best it can possibly be. And that was such a happy thing for myself. Really quick, I do want to talk about the human characters in this movie. Personally, I didn't mind the lack of the human characters at all. Mainly because this is a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Sonic the Hedgehog. Not the Sonic, Tom, and Maddie movie. We got the Sonic and Tom movie with the first Sonic movie. And now I feel like it's time to move on to something else. I feel like Wade Whipple's inclusion... Is that his name, Wade Whipple?
Yeah, Wade Whipple.
I feel like his inclusion in the movie, The Guardian of the Master Emerald, even though it was kind of corny, I thought it was kind of funny. And he's a bit of a fan favorite. I want to talk about the Knuckles series in a little bit. But I'm sure that many other people can say the same thing. I also really want to say really quick, when Sonic took the emerald and Wade went, "Well, I tried." I thought that was the funniest line I have ever heard the guy say in any movie. I was dying. But it was... I feel like there were a lot of good things about the human characters. I feel like it was okay. Wasn't really brought on the best. There's a reason that they had them in there, because of a contract. I feel like the movie would have been just fine if they didn't have them in there. But that's just me.
I think the human characters really bring a lot of heart into the Sonic movies. I think, like, I do obviously want more Sonic lore and Sonic characters to be brought into the Sonic movies.
Yeah.
But I think the human the human characters, in particularly Tom. Robotnik, I guess, doesn't count, even though he is human. He's still a Sonic originating character.
Yeah.
I think it was cool, I guess, for the second act to give Tom and Maddie something to do, because otherwise they would have done nothing the entire movie.
Yeah.
And I like that they have something to do, but I do agree that a lot more Sonic can be introduced without the human characters,
Yeah.
but they would need like a really good way to write them off. Because I feel like we're getting to the point now with the post-credit scene and everything, and I feel like there's going to be even more that they're not telling us, that there's just the Sonic portion is heavily outweighing the movie original portion. Like in Sonic 1, it was almost entirely movie original, taking almost nothing from the games besides Sonic and Eggman.
Yeah.
But now it's the game part is becoming so much that characters like Tom and Maddie and Wade are now getting delegated to, like, Wade specifically getting delegated to a one-off throwaway scene that may or may not have tied it back to Knuckles,
Yeah.
So there's now going to be a point where we're asking the question, when are they going to permanently take these characters out? Because now it's going to become like a Bayformers situation where so many characters are introduced, yet they're trying to scramble all so they can have something to do in the movie, but also the screen time becomes really crowded and divided amongst like 20 characters. And now it gets to a point where Tom has like 2 speaking lines in the whole movie, yet he was standing in the background the whole time,
Yeah.
So I feel like they need to start trimming characters down, and that needs to start with the human characters, but they need a good way to like permanently write Tom off now that he's like the dad of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles.
Yeah. Exactly. You have to have,
As much as I like him.
you have to have a place where these characters can just take a rest.
Yep.
That was definitely something, and I feel like that was a big problem. Well, kind of. It was a problem. There was a problem with the Knuckles series. It was more of a series about Wade than it was Knuckles. If anything, it was a series about Wade. I feel like Knuckles was more of a side product of that. The series itself could have been fine, but I feel like it was just kind of cringy. If you get what I mean, it was just, it was a good series. Don't get me wrong. Could have been better, but that's to be said about anything. I just feel like it could have been improved, and the human characters, it felt more like just a random human series. It could have been in any universe. You could have had it in Thomas the Tank Engine for all I care. It just didn't feel like a Sonic series at heart. It just felt really off the wall.
Yeah.
Anyways, I killed the mood. Let's go on to the final point. Really quick. Let's talk about the post-credit scene. The one that I saw. The one that
Definitely
one
saw.
and only.
the one and only post-credit scene, the only one that exists, because nothing else.
The one that we both definitely saw.
The one that we both definitely saw.
Both of us definitely saw it.
Hang on, just making sure you saw this post-credit scene, right? The first one.
I saw the first one, yeah.
Okay, with Amy and Metal
I
Sonic.
didn't see the second one. Yeah.
Okay, good. So it's 50-50.
Although,
50% of us have seen the whole movie. 50% of us have not. So we split it right down the middle. The post-credit scene opens so many floodgates for Sonic 4, which is already coming out. We know it's coming out, 2027. It's already in development. But Amy and Metal Sonic, the army of Metal Sonics. From what we know, at least from this, I'm betting 100% that this movie is going to be based in some way off a Sonic CD, because it includes both Metal Sonic and Amy. The real question is, what is the plot going to be? Is it going to be like a robot takeover? Is it going to be? There's so many different things. Actually, I do want to hear your theories. What do you got?
So it's interesting. It's 100% a time travel story, and that's not just because like Amy and Metal Sonic were introduced in CD, but because of the storyboard leaks that were revealed of Sonic 3 at the beginning of the year. I'm not sure if you guys seen those or not.
I haven't, but I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I assume it's fine to talk about since the movie's out.
Yeah.
But actually, the ending of Sonic 3 is different from what the original storyboards were leaked.
Really?
And this was at the exact same time as the finale of the Knuckles show storyboards were leaked as well. And I remember everyone theorizing about what the Flames of Disaster can mean, you know?
Mhm.
And that was like before we got any official trailer. And it was the finale of Shadow pushing the Ark, right?
Uh-huh.
That area of movie. It was supposed to be a time travel sequence. That's what I still have the storyboard.
Every day when you log into ChumbaCasino.com, the ultimate online social casino, you get a free daily bonus. Imagine if you got daily bonuses in other parts of your life.
I chose French fries over loaded French fries.
I asked Stuart from accounting about his weekend, even though I don't care.
I updated my operating system without having to call tech support.
Collect your free daily bonus at ChumbaCasino.com now. And live the Chumba life. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody. Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back. And we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
And I can send it to you if you want to see it. But
Absolutely.
the Toon Boon storyboard was titled Time Travel. It was, just like Space Station Time Travel.
Okay.
I'll send it in the group chat.
Yeah.
And the scene where Eggman sacrifices himself and talks to Stone just didn't exist in this version. Because what happened was that's a bad version. Hold on, let me download a different. But basically, when Shadow's pushing the Ark and when now that we have the context of the Eclipse Cannon imploding on itself, my theory was, at least judging based off of what we're seeing in the clip, is that due to the Eclipse Cannon imploding on itself, it was okay. It just embeds. Okay, whatever. But the Eclipse Cannon imploding on itself did something to time in general, and we get to see like the arc rotating and warping, and we get to see previous events come into fruition, like Knuckles and Tails and Eggman like diverting the arc, Gerald and them fighting, and we get to see time distortions like that before the arc just completely warps in on itself.
Yeah.
It doesn't like implode or explode. It just kind of warps in on itself, and that's it. So I assume what the original ending was supposed to be is that Shadow or Robotnik was supposed to get lost in time somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's where Sonic 4 was supposed to lead in. I still think that's the case. And they just didn't want to make it super obvious what the fourth movie could be. Because if we had the idea that, Eggman created Metal Sonic in like the future or the past or something like that, due to this new, time travel never being involved in technology in the Sonic world up until this point, I still think that Metal Sonic is either coming from the future or the past, because he just transported in Terminator style and went up to immediately destroy Sonic. And I think that's the case, because how else would a ton of Metal Sonics be mass produced?
Yeah.
If it wasn't some kind of time travel, unless they went in a Mega Man 7 situation where it was like a contingency where if Eggman died, if his life vitals were cut off or something, then all of these mass produced Metal Sonics he's made from the quills would be released, which would be really cool actually. But then that also brings in the question of where does Amy come in all of this, you know?
Yeah.
How did she know that Sonic would be here? Unless she saw it in like her fortune cards or something really stupid like that. But I think it'll be real, and I think they're not telling us everything because, of course, Metal Sonic and Amy will be in the fourth movie, but and since they originated from a time travel game, that only means that Silver is right behind them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Sonic 1's post-credit scene, we got confirmation that Tails was going to be in the next movie, but they didn't reveal that Knuckles was going to be here until like the trailer came out.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to do that as well. They're going to introduce Metal Sonic and Amy, which are obviously confirmed, and then they're going to save Silver for a trailer because at this point in Sonic, you just can't have time travel without Silver. He is that token time travel character.
He's Trunks.
He's literally Trunks. And I feel like when we get more information, once 2027 hits,
we'll be able to see more of that by then.
I think we're going to see Silver.
Yeah.
And I think whatever that original... I feel like they're just going to go back and retcon it, being like, yeah, when it imploded, something happened with time, but they just didn't... Since it got leaked, they just didn't want to make it super obvious to those who may have known about it, you know?
Yeah. I feel like we're going to see something like that in Sonic 4. And honestly, I love that idea. I want to see that so bad.
Yeah, no, it was super evident in the previous in the storyboards that it was time travel, and I feel like it was almost like a Dark of the Transformers Dark of the Moon situation. You know, if I had a nickel for every time the ending of a Paramount trilogy movie got leaked and they had to change it due to the ending getting leaked, I'd have two nickels, which is weird that whatever that quote was.
It's like, it's not a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
Yeah, I feel like this was, you know, it's a storyboard. It was obviously planned to be in the movie, but I feel like due to the fact that it got leaked back in like January and the movie was coming out in December, they had a lot of time to go in and change the ending to mislead audiences. Because like in Dark of the Moon, the original ending was Megatron and Optimus Prime like going their separate ways, calling a truce, ending the fighting and whatnot. And I feel like it's the same thing here, where the Eggman was supposed to go out in a time travel situation along with Shadow. Maybe the Shadow bit's up in the air. I feel like Shadow might have still survived because like the way Shadow goes out is still the exact same. He closes his eyes, it all implodes on itself.
Yeah. That is really cool.
I honestly like the way that Eggman went out. Since we didn't see it in the storyboards, I don't think him like talking to Stone, having a heart-to-heart with him was originally planned. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But I do like...
think it probably wasn't. They probably had some other idea, but I honestly loved the way it turned out.
Yeah, if it was the product of that change, then honestly, all better for it because it was like a really good scene.
Yeah. It was really cool. I love the way the actual movie was just handled overall. It was, oh my goodness, it was crazy. I loved it.
It was spectacular, man. It was just an unforgettable experience. I mean, like, I can't speak for everyone, but like, you know, me, Matt, and eight other of our friends actually like met up and saw this movie. So us coming to just like ignoring what like, even if I didn't like the movie, I still think the cinematic experience would be very much unforgettable just because this movie brought so many people together in one place as we're scattered from all over the world, you know?
Yeah.
So just alone, it was one of the most unforgettable experiences that I've had.
Oh, that's so cool. I just watched it with a guy in our Discord server. Actually, Wormy. Hi, Wormy. We watched it, and it was so cool. I loved it. I would so see it again. And one last thing before we end this episode. This movie is best seen in a theater. And I feel
100%.
like once you watch it at home, it's not going to feel the same. Like the cinematic, unless you have a 5.1 surround sound system in your home, which vast majority of people don't have, it's not going to be the exact same movie. And that is something that I fear for it. It was such a good movie. You have to watch it with the big theater screen, with your great sound system. And if you have that, more power to you. You just have to watch it right to get the full experience, and I'm so happy I watched it in theaters. But that's
just for the last 30 minutes alone.
Oh, dude, just the 30 minutes. It was crazy.
That's worth the cinema. That's worth going to the cinemas alone. It was just that spectacular.
Yeah.
They were right. It was kind of ripped straight out of an Avengers film.
Oh, easily.
With this, I mean, the stakes were amazing. Very high stakes. I think the low point of the third act was probably the Robotnik and Gerald fighting, because right after Sonic and Shadow dapped each other up, Live and Learn started playing. I was having a seizure in my seat.
Cool.
They just kind of immediately went to a spanking joke, and I'm like, I kind of groaned when I watched it because it ripped me right out of the moment. I'm like, I want to see them tear something up. I want to see Super Sonic and Shadow teaming up, and they did go back to that pretty quickly. But I do feel like the Gerald fighting was the low point. Besides his death, the way Gerald went out was the funniest thing I had ever seen.
Dude, it was hilarious. Like, it was like the most cinematic, like, and it all just went dead silent. It was hilarious.
Yep. I love him getting flown into the chaos energy.
It was zapped like a bug.
It was just like the entire theater erupted in laughter.
It was so
my goodness,
funny.
It was such a funny moment. It was perfectly representative of how he should have gone out.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
It was such a good movie, and I loved it. There is so much to talk about the movie, but there's also only so much time that you actually have in an episode. And in the movie itself, I feel like if they would have added 30 more minutes to the movie, that would have fixed the pacing.
And cleared a lot of things up that weren't explained, like Shadow's inhibitors rings. Those weren't explained. If you were a Sonic fan, you obviously understood what it was. But my mom saw the movie and she's like, I have no idea what that was. And I'm like, yeah, that just kind of like conceals his power and whatnot. You know, the inhibitor rings. I feel like they could have humanized Gerald a lot more. I feel like we should have seen him in the flashback and his relationship with Maria, because they had like no screen time together. Chaos energy, I feel like, should have been explained, because they're just like, yep, Shadow produces that. That's what he does.
Yep.
And just a lot of things just went unexplained, and I feel like an extended version of the movie with some reshoots. If we could get all the Sonic fans together and bully them into making an extended edition.
We did it for the first movie, we can do it again.
Yeah. Like the Snyder cut, the 4-hour Sonic 3 cut. I feel like it would have been like a near perfect movie if they just had the time to let certain scenes breathe and really explain certain things.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
But otherwise, it was still just like an awesome movie.
I love it, and I'm so excited for Sonic 4.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I'll tell y'all what. If y'all want, when we do the Sonic 4 review, we'll have y'all back on so we can redo this whole thing back in 2027.
See you in 2.5 years.
Let's go. All right, well, I think that basically sums it up. So with that out of the way, I'm Josiah.
And I'm Jonathan.
And this
is Gaming Corner.
Hey, it's Jenny Garth here. The talk around GLP-1s is inescapable these days, but are you familiar with Future Health? They've made accessing qualified doctors who specialize in GLP-1s easier than ever before. My friend has struggled with their weight for many years. It was always up and down. She tried fad diets, never saw lasting results. So she started using GLP-1s, and not only did the weight come off, but she also gained more energy to do all those activities that she loved the most. I'm all about feeling my best and living my life in a healthy way. It's incredible how science is able to help us achieve that healthy lifestyle that we are all striving for. Future Health gives millions of people affordable access to knowledgeable providers who really know weight loss medications for less than $3 a day. Find out if weight loss meds are right for you in 3 minutes at tryfh.com. That's tryfh.com.
Tryfh.com.
Future Health is not a healthcare service provider. Meds are prescribed at provider's discretion. Results may vary. Sponsored by Future Health.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? If you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. Choose from hundreds of social casino style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.